Hi there, I'm Christy. Welcome to my homestead. I am from northern Alberta, Canada. Today I'm going to take you with me to show you something that occurs to animals, livestock, when they are exposed to snow or like hot and cold temperatures, humidity shifts that are create a lot of ice buildup, or are exposed to a lot of rain, and that's called rain rot. So stick around if you have livestock, because you might learn something of how we deal with it up here in the northern climates where we have snow and frost and cool temperatures. So let's go do chores. There's a few things I need to gather up before we can get this horse treated and chores done. But before we go out and do that, I'm going to give you a clip from a few days ago of when I initially treated this horse for rain rot. The treatment was with simply peroxide and raw unpasteurized honey out of my pantry. So rain rot is something that many people mistake it as a fungus, but it's actually not. Rain rot or mud scald or rain scald is actually a bacteria that lives in the skin or under the skin of pretty much, humans, like all animals, mammals kind of thing. And horses, they get this when they're exposed to the right conditions of humid conditions under a thick coat, like a winter coat. What happens is this bacteria, Dermatophilus congolensis, it actually activates in those conditions of, under a really thick, heavy coat, like a winter coat, like what Iceman has here. So with this really thick, heavy coat and then the snowpack on his back with having those conditions, it would melt and create a really perfect environment on his skin with the perfect humidity for this to thrive. And so what you see here, this dark color and this crustiness, is a lot of dead skin and hair that's deteriorating and breaking down, and the bacteria thriving. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to clean this off so I can get down to bare skin. Typically I would wash this with like an iodine soap or antibacterial soap, and then put on some ointments to help support and build up healthy bacteria again, put him on some probiotics and whatnot, and try to keep his back dry and warm so that it's not going to activate any more growth of this bacteria. Now this bacteria, it can be passed from horse to horse, like all animals have this. You have this in your skin, your cattle, your dogs, your pets, everybody has this type of bacteria to some extent. It's just, this is excessive because of the conditions. It was thriving because of the conditions. So I'm just trying to keep it clean. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to blanket this horse, because if I blanket him, it creates a perfect environment under that blanket with humidity for rain rot and like this rain scald or skin scald to, continue to grow and create more havoc on this horse. So he's just going to get this cleaned up today. I'm going to put some treatment on it and I'll show you what I'm going to do. He's enjoying the process. It's like the worst itch of his life, being scratched. This is actually very painful. This is how we figured out he had this, because I never dealt with this before. The first time Chaz ever rode this pony, when we brought him home from the auction sale, he piled him twice. He bucked him off real hard. And we learned he had pain here from having scabs under his coat because he has a really thick coat. And this is one of the things with Cushing's horses. They don't lose their hair very easily in the summer. So horses with Cushing's disease are really, really prone to having this because their hair is so thick. So basically I'm just stripping it down, getting all that scabby stuff out. I'm trying to clean it as much as I can without using water. Because it's below freezing, I don't want this horse to get a chill because he's sick with other conditions going on. So I'm just trying to clean it up as best I can and keep him comfortable. And he's definitely enjoying his spa day, getting all that cruddy stuff off his back. He's happy. He's returning the favor to the fence because it's getting the worst itch of his life. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of feeling through. It's hard to see. I'm just kind of feeling through with my fingertips. So going to use honey. Now, honey was something that a veterinarian had taught me to put into cuts and abrasions on horses and skin, like skin burn or skin scald. And I learned this after working with horses that alongside of a veterinarian, when there was a bunch of horses in a really tragic accident, and I learned a lot from that process. And one of the things is using raw unpasteurized honey on wounds to dress them so that it'll naturally begin to balance out and heal, because honey has so many benefits when it comes to the right balance of bacteria. Plus it also has a natural antibiotic in it. So this is what I put on this wound once I kind of get in there. So you see I'm kind of like scraping with my fingernails. I'm actually getting into the hair, like beyond the raw part. And Iceman's enjoying this so much. But I'm getting in there and I'm just kind of loosening up all the bordering of the scab that was on his back, and just loosening everything that potentially could have be holding some of this bacteria in there. Usually you would do this with lather, like in water and soap, like shampoo. But like I said, it's super cold. I'm just doing the best I can right now for him. It worked out good because this healed beautifully. But this is how I'm just doing what I'm doing in this cold climate without having him getting soaking wet and using soap. Just taking my time. This took a couple hours. I spent a couple hours doing this, and it might not be a fast process, but for this horse, it was what I had to do. And having livestock, you sometimes just have to slow down and deal with it. And that's what I did. I slowed down and I dealt with it, and he was better for it. And I'm grateful. So this is the process that I took today. Usually, in the summer when it's warmer, I do use soap and water and do things much differently. And I just treat it as a bacterial skin condition. And I always make sure to wear gloves doing this, because and don't share tack between, like a saddle pad between horses or anything like that if they have this, because you can end up flaring it up in another horse. When they sweat, the transfer of bacteria can occur and stuff, which, as long as the horse is dry and clean, then it shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, I'm really getting in there and working as hard as I can to loosen that all off, and he's definitely enjoying it. Okay, so super hard to see because of the lighting, but I don't think I'm gonna get it much cleaner than this. I don't want to put too much water on him, because it is winter time, it is cold, and it's getting kind of late. I've been at this for a while, so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of make it as neat as I can, so then I can get in here with my medications of peroxide, like cleaning solutions. I'm just gonna do peroxide on it. I'm not gonna do wash it too much with iodine. I'm just gonna flush it with peroxide and then put the honey on it. So yeah, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Okay, so I got it down to the skin as much as I can. You can sort of see pink in there now. So I did, yeah, you can see the skin. I don't want to touch it too much, but I'm going to put gloves on, a different pair of gloves on, and then I'm going to apply honey. And then the honey is going to run down in between the hairs. It'll melt in there, and it'll start to work as a natural antibiotic, and it'll help build up the good bacteria to combat what's going on here. Helps when you have quiet horses. So this is the raw honey that I brought from the house. So it's gonna be goopy and sticky and yucky, but starting to rain. I was gonna put him out, but I think I have to leave him in tonight. That's gonna melt and be a icky, goopy mess, but it'll be good. It's hard to imagine, but it'll be good. I've seen what honey can heal. Don't need a lot. Okay, I guess I'll go do chores now. You're good to go, buddy? All better? Okay, I'll go get you some supper. Okay, back to present moment. So I'm gathering some things to treat Iceman for some of his other conditions, which he is going through a laminitis flare, plus he has some inflammation going on in his body. So I use a product. It is a product called Osteoaid, and it is by Herbs for Horses. I typically have these herbs on my pantry shelf or in my medicine cabinet, but I'm just using these today as a tea form. I'm giving him an extremely high dose for a horse his size, and this is an oral treatment. It's a tea, and it's made out of four main ingredients, and they are devil's claw, feverfew, ginger, and turmeric. And the reason I'm giving him a really, really big dose is because he needs it, and I've built him up to it. I'm bringing him back down off of it, but today he really needs this one more dose. It's part of my treatment plan, a holistic treatment plan that I'm treating him to get him out of this flare that he's in. So this is a strategic. I would not recommend doing what I'm doing. This is just what I'm doing today in my circumstances for this horse. The reason I'm using this product is because those four ingredients, devil's claw, feverfew, ginger, and turmeric, combined together, they are a really powerful anti-inflammatory and a pain reliever. I personally use this combination. I actually use this combination personally before I even knew this company existed. So the horse that we're treating today, he has a condition that we think is causing laminitis, and that condition is Cushing's disease. And it is detected with a series of blood tests, which we had run on him a few years ago, and they were quite inconclusive to the cause. The conclusion was it was likely that he had Cushing's disease, which is an issue with the pituitary gland. Basically, he's got some issues with hormones, and it triggers a whole bunch of conflicts. It's somehow the pituitary gland and how it's stimulated goes up somatically when things are not functioning properly, and there's new research to suggest that it is linked to laminitis. So this horse is dealing, or this pony is dealing with a whole bunch of issues that he come with when we bought him. We have been told multiple times by multiple vets that he probably will never recover. Last year was a year we didn't think that he would be like rode again, but he was sound enough to be rode. He did recover. It was a lot of work, but he did recover to get a year out of him. So we're just trying to experiment and see if we can regulate his hormone level. I do have some anti-inflammatories to give him. I have some Hoof Doctor for any laminitis that is showing up, and so he's just on a treatment plan. I have trying different things to see what he's responding to, and there's been a big response to this treatment. It shows that it's inflammation induced from something going on with his pituitary gland, because I've been treating him with that treatment plan and seeing results. So it's just been process of elimination, and I think we're on the right track. If it's just a hormonal imbalance, I think that we should have this handled by the end of next week. But we still have rain rot to deal with, which is why you're here, to see what this is about. So I better feed these guys and get to work here before my syringe freezes. So Iceman has really, really flat feet, and what happens is this causes him to build up with ice. He has really flat feet, and the way his hooves are growing, it's because he has laminitis. This is not a sound horse, and also he's on herbs that make his feet herbs and minerals that make his feet go really, really quickly to help support him heal through this. So please, no hatred about how his feet look. They are definitely in need of a farrier. We are about a week and a half overdue for a farrier visit. And with the cold weather, we are just making do with what we can do. So his feet have grown really, really fast because of his diet. And they look awful because of his laminitis. Also, please note, I spent 10 minutes looking for a hoof pick. I could not find it, so I had to use my pocket knife to clean the ice out of his foot. I was at the point where the horse needed his feet cleaned out because it was very uncomfortable and it needed to be done. So I used my knife with caution to pop the ice out so I could get him treated and taken care of, opposed to spending a whole bunch of time looking for a nice pick or a hoof pick. I think I lost it in the snow the other day. Yesterday, I think it fell out of my pocket. So basically what I did is I just treated the bottom of his foot with, it's called Hoof Doctor. I'm applying this for two reasons. One, to help with the growth and healing of the laminitis in his foot, and also to prevent any abscesses. When ice builds up on horses in our climate, one of the common things to happen is it to create abscesses inside the hoof. So this could be another potential risk. So I'm wanting to add this to the bottom of his hooves to prevent that. This is a natural product, and it's made out of birch bark. Now, Hoof Doctor is a Canadian company, so I'm not sure if there's an equivalency to this in the US or what other products are available. But this is just what I've been using, and it's really, really helped him with pain management. And also, I should also mention, typically I would prevent ice buildup on his feet by adding some Vaseline so that it would stop sticking. But because I'm applying Hoof Doctor once a day, I want to not have that Vaseline on there because I want to actually make contact with the hoof with the Hoof Doctor. So that's why I'm not putting it on his feet. Or the Vaseline on his feet to prevent buildup. I'm actually just picking his feet more frequently. I can't stress enough how I do not recommend using a pocket knife to pop ice out of a horse's hooves. There's so many reasons why. Like I said, I could not find the hoof pick, and it's in the snowbank somewhere. There's like 100 of these hoof picks lost in this property. I usually find them early in the spring after runoff everywhere, littering my whole backyard and barnyard. But I wanted to get him taken care of instead of spending time looking for the tool. So I just used what I had and was extra cautious of doing this. But again, I don't recommend using a knife to clean a horse's hooves unless it's a proper knife for cleaning horses' hooves. I should also mention he has a fantastic farrier who has worked really, really hard to get this horse sound, and in conjunction with a really good farrier and a really good treatment plan, this horse has definitely recovered multiple times. So I'm not giving up on him yet. So it's been a few days since you've seen me initially treat this rain rot on his back. I am adding some more honey to the spots where it needs a little bit more healing. You can see where it's pink and stuff. That's actually really healthy tissue. I'm really happy to see that there's been some hair growth. It's been filling back in, and it does look really gross. It's all sticky and wet looking. I want to make sure that he is comfortable. So for right now, I'm just adding more honey, and I will give him another treatment later when it's warmer. So it looks really gross. Don't worry, you guys. I'm not going to leave him like this. So it is supposed to warm up later this afternoon. I'm waiting for some warmer weather. I'm going to take him inside once the painkillers kick in and it's not so painful for him to walk a long distance. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that out with some soap, probably either like an iodine based soap, and I'm going to get all of that gunk out of him. And then, hi Iceman. And then I ordered a blanket for him because we are supposed to get some cooler temperatures. So I'm kind of planning this between the weather. I don't want him to get a chill. So I'm just going to leave this for right now while it's cool. And when it warms up, then I'll clean him up. Then he has plenty of time to dry before I blanket him. He's not been doing well inside. So I have to put him out with these horses, the other horses. It's the best place for him. I have a risk of him tying up or hurting himself more from pacing and being on his feet and pawing more than he needs to be right now. So that's my game plan for today with dealing with this. But all in all, he has hair growth that wasn't there from the other day. This honey has a lot of good stuff in it. It's just sticky and looks gross because everything sticks to it. It looks messy. But the hair, like where he had the worst damage from the rain rot, is looking really, really good. I'm not worried about it at all. It just looks yucky because it's kind of cakey and yucky. So come back and deal with him after, and once he's done his breakfast, and I'm gonna go do the rest of the chores, feed the chickens and the guinea, check on them. Maybe there's an egg today. I'm hoping. Thanks for doing chores with me. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and learning about the things that I'm doing here. I hope it is inspiring to you to try different alternative methods. If if you don't have medication, sometimes you might have the right things in your medicine cabinet for people and animals and alike. It's definitely worth a shot. Anyways, take care, you guys. Much love. See you next time.